So if I take the original, this is the original one. If I lift it up in the centre where the gearbox is, I'm just going to lift it up on my finger, right in the centre there. If I lift it up, you see it tilts backwards. The V2, again, no cheating, putting my finger square across the middle there. If I lift this one up, what's up guys, welcome to the garage. Today we've got the new RGT Adventurer V2. Don't get this confused with the FTX Outback Mini V2. This is different. If this was a FTX Outback, this would be the version 3, as this has got a little difference on it that the new Outback has not got. Split transmission system. We'll have a look at that in a minute. The motor is mounted up front. So this was sent to me by Banggood for review. There is a lot of information on the back there. I'll put it close-ish to the camera. If you want to have a read of it, have a read of it. Pause the video now, but it gives you a little bit more information on the V2 and the differences. Basically, motor's mounted up front. It's got a transfer case in the middle, and it looks like the gear ratio has been changed to make it crawl better. If anyone's got the V1 RGT or the Outback, you'll know that, or even the ECX Barrage, you'll know that the ability at slow speeds wasn't good with these. They were quite jerky, so I'm interested to see how this one compares to the original. Now this was, I've recently converted this into the little Gravedigger monster truck. I'll leave a link up here to that video. So it has got a few things that I've changed on it. However, I've put it back together for this one, although the ESC at the moment is a little bit temperamental, but hopefully we can get it running a bit. I want to just show the difference at the angle with the extra weight up front and the new one. Anyway, let's get this out the box. So it comes with your instructions, USB charger, a little 1S 3.7 volt 500 milliamp hour LiPo. They've gone for the new style of transmitter, pretty much the same as the Hobby Plus CR24 controller. However, this has got like analog control knobs on it, whereas this has got push buttons. And that's the old RGT transmitter to compare. I'll be honest with you, I do like these compared to these. There's nothing wrong with this, but these are quite nice and small and compact. And then here is the new V2. So side by side, not a massive amount of difference. Really nice colour this, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Really nice deep metallic red. But yeah, not massive amount of difference. You've got the obviously the extra roll cage on this, and if you look, you've also now got wing mirrors. Nice little touch. Does look a little bit more scale now. Wheels are the same. Tyres are the same. And front bumper lights, rear bumper lights, and the spare wheel are the same as well. Let's take the body off and have a look at the main difference and probably the game changer on this one. So there it is. So underneath we have the motor sat up the front here, steering servo next to it, and then you've got the gearbox there on the back of the motor, and then you've got a drive shaft down to a transfer box, which then two drive shafts to the front and rear axle. So that, I mean, the original one, it wasn't too bad at climbing, but I put a little bit of weight on the front of mine just to help it, whereas this now, as you'll see, has got a lot of weight up the front. Battery still sits in the back, and then this looks like it's got a new ESC as well. This is it says waterproof on it. It's also got a 3-wire steering servo. It means you can buy your own micro servo if you want to upgrade it. It does say it's waterproof. That's waterproof, so we should be all good. So if I take the original, this is the original one. If I lift it up in the centre where the gearbox is, I'm just going to lift it up on my finger, right in the centre there. If I lift it up, you see it tilts backwards. I've got my finger flat across the bottom there. You can see most of the weight is at the back. Now if I get the new one, the V2, again, no cheating, putting my finger square across the middle there. If I lift this one up, you can see all the weight is at the front. I've actually got to go quite far forward, there you go, to get it level. But yeah, sit in the middle, all the way up front. That is what you want in a crawler. You want to be pulling the front down of them. Looks good. So I've had a good look over it, and everything else looks pretty much the same, apart from obviously the drivetrain being different. So I'll just pan over it slowly for you so you can see the difference. Obviously this is the new one. Excuse the green, that's where I made it into the Gravedigger. But as you can see, there's a few differences. The main one is your motor. I'll just pan underneath for you as well, but again, like I said, exactly the same. It does say something on the box, I think, about a redesigned axle, but the axles look the same. It might be internally, it might be different, but as you can see, both the same. Right, I'm going to build a little crawler course around here. I'm going to stick the battery in this, and I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try and get this going, but like I said, the ESC's been a bit temperamental since doing the Gravedigger one, but I'll charge the battery for it. I might just show you the angle that can climb compared to that one rather than doing that on the course. But we'll run this round on this little course on my workbench, just so you can see it operating, and then I'll do another video and I'll take this out and give it a bit more of a challenge. So I made a little course on the workbench. I've got both. I'm going to give that a try, even though I think the steering's a bit knackered and ESC's playing up. But this is the one we want to know about. Anyway, the new one. Got a little course over the limitless, down this way, round the corner, and then the bit you want to see is how steep it can climb and how controlled, and then back down over there to the start. Just a little course, nothing special, but I will take it out, like I've said, and give it a good test outdoors. And like I say, it is waterproof, so we'll get it wet as well. Anyway, I am driving one-handed, as always, so let's give this a go. So straight away you can see how controlled this is compared to the others. You can crawl it much slower. Definitely easier to drive than the original, and also easier and more controllable than the CR24 as well. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. So this is at about 45 degrees, this slope. And as you can see, light's a bit rubbish, but as you can see, we're just about on the edge with that front wheel lifting. It's about as steep as we can get. control. It's not got a drag brake, well, I don't think it's got a drag brake, but you can just touch the throttle and nice and slowly control down the slope. And there we go. Definitely loads more control. Now I'm going to give this a quick go. I don't know how well it's going to do because of that ESC and steering issue, but what I will definitely do is show you the slope angle there that this I've not tried it, but it probably can't do that, but because that's on the limits and that's got much better that weight distribution at the front, as you've seen, I'm guessing that this won't do it. In fact, let's do that first. Trying to oh no, I broke the body. Everything else looks right though. The things I do for you guys, eh? I mean, you can see straight away it's not going to do it. So there it is, guys, the new V2 from RGT, the little mini 124 scale. Better than the V1, as you can see, because of that extra weight there, better gearing. I think it looks nice as well, that external cage. I'd say this is better than the CR24 from Hobby Plus as well. I haven't got the ECX Barrage and I haven't got the FTX Outback Mini, but they're just the same as this one. So new gear ratio, motor up front, big difference. Right, I'm going to give this a go across the course now. Cheers for watching. I'll see you next time.